EA Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL finds us in South America in the vibrant and colorful Brazilian beachside city of Rio de Janeiro. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
So here come the Browns for their first drive on offense. And they'll be led out by their eighth-year quarterback.
Would you say that last week's performance by him, workman-like in terms of numbers?
One touchdown, one pick, but obviously a loss.
Yeah, and that's the bottom line for him. All he cares about is how do we find a way to win the game. Maybe leans on a few other parts of the offense, and hopefully springs a receiver or two free.
Only a couple for him there on the game's first play, and it's second down. When you look at this defense, they were excellent last week in the win over the Chargers.
And it was the pass rush that really keyed their victory. Got to the quarterback 6 times for sacks and plenty of other turbulence in the pocket for him as well.
Ball at the 23, second and 8.
Let's go. Ready.
Off play action. Parks. He's going to loft one deep over the middle. And this will be caught at the 30. And on the way in, touchdown, Cleveland. Jalen Noe, his third touchdown now on the year. And the Browns need just 2 plays on their opening drive to take the early lead. Well, if they didn't get the wake-up call before the game, they got it right now. 2 plays already in the end zone.
I think of it in boxing terms because whether it's a big shot with your first one or a probing one, a little bit of a jab, the second one was the payoff. That was the big one that landed. 1-2, end zone.
The Browns kicking team out there now as they'll send this one away. Now a crease here as he's past the 30. And pretty good field position here. He's out of bounds right at the 35. So now we'll get a look at the other offensive unit as they come out for their first possession. And they will be led out by their 6'3" quarterback.
And I'll bet he's talking to his guys about resisting the temptation to try and turn this into an up-and-down game. Almost like basketball, where both teams press, and one team gets an advantage, the other team's trying to run with them, and they're just not equipped for it. Doesn't matter whether you're equipped or not. Just settle in, get calm before you go for the big strikes.
They'll wind up losing 8 on the sack there, and it's second down.
At the 27-yard line.
Gotta imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18.
Why Tony? Nike Texas.
Throwing now is Stroud. And it's incomplete, broken up. But there is a flag down. Let's see what that's about. So a costly penalty yardage-wise as that'll move the football down to the spot of the foul.
And what the officials are looking for in these situations, whether you're playing the man or the ball. And if you're playing the man, you get a lot less leeway in terms of what's going to happen at the end of the play. But if you're looking for the football, it's less likely to draw the flag.
Stroud. He's going to look deep down the field. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
Almost feels like anything you can do, we're going to try and match or do better. We've already seen one touchdown pass from the opposition. They tried to equal it on that throw.
11.
Stroud working out of the gun. Looking left side, and he's got the man. That's Lopez. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10. That one good for 37 yards.
They made that way too easy for them. No one is supposed to be that open against an NFL defense. Once he caught the ball, there wasn't anybody close enough to stop it. And he was able to continue downfield after making the catch.
Now a 1st and 10 at the 11.
Here we go, let's go. 118.
Stroud to throw it. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. So the completion good for 7 there. And it'll be 2nd down. Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So as you said, you shrink the playbook. Pick out the plays that work best for you. You know what else you're looking for?
What's that?
Who are the freshest guys coming off of the last game to play on a Thursday night? Guys have a little extra pep in their step. You go to them early and often.
They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks.
3rd down and 5.
And a stoppage here, a timeout before this 3rd down play takes place. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 1st quarter. Here is 3rd and 5.
Here we go. 18. That's right.
Stroud looking to throw. Throw left side complete. That's Bell. And just shy of the goal line as he's out of bounds right at the 1.
1st down and goal.
It's a gain of 6 as they're able to convert, and now it's 1st and goal.
Ready.
Genty into a mass of bodies, and I think they held him out. They did. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on 1st down.
Well, I know a defensive coordinator is going to be pretty excited about what he just saw there. Great knockback by their front. And now with the ball where it is, I would expect to see the offense throw the ball on 2nd and 3rd down here.
And he will take this one in for a touchdown. Genty with his 4th rushing touchdown of the year. And the Bulls are able to match the opening drive touchdown against them with one of their own.
That's a great response here in this 1st quarter. And what I like about it is how they put this drive together. The other guys scored quickly to start the game, but this was smart football to not feel like you have to go out and score quickly yourself. So they worked the ball down the field, took their time, and finished with the touchdown run.
Extra point attempt to come here. It's up and good. So these teams match touchdowns here in the 1st quarter, and we're tied 7-7. Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And they come into this one off the loss over the weekend. But you say if you're going to play a Thursday night game, this is the week to do it.
It certainly is, because you get right back out there. You don't have time to dwell on things. And look, your game plan is going to be a little more limited, but so is theirs. So that's when you just appeal to your top players. Guys, you make plays in this one, we out-execute them, we can walk away with a win.
9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here. If it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of 1st downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they escape all the scurry.
It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
They'll come up facing 3rd and 5.
Ready. Ready? 33. Yellow. Ready?
Operating from the gun. Parks. And he's going to be brought down here in the backfield. And the defense coming through on 3rd down. A loss of 7 to bring up 4.
This offensive line has struggled. In fact, when we sat down with the coach, he said it's been in tatters lately. They allowed 6 sacks in their last game. Just gave up another one right there.
And tatters, so it sounds a little bit like this right now.
Exactly. It's like that paper being ripped. And right now, they've got to find a way to get it back together.
And now it looks like he's in some discomfort after being tackled at the end of that return. So as the medical staff takes a look, we'll step aside. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. They're riding a 2-game winning streak into this Thursday nighter. How easy is it when you're on a roll to stay on a roll given the quick turnaround?
Well, you would think it'd be pretty easy because everyone's locked in practice and meetings because everyone feels good about themselves. And for coaches, this is what they have to tell themselves. Don't add too much. Don't worry about game plans as much as players. So look at your play sheet and think, give it to the guys who play best, and don't worry about the rest of it.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
Tony. Hey, uno.
Here's Stroud. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on 1st down.
At the 41-yard line.
Back to throw. Here's Stroud. And he's got his big tight end over the middle, complete. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. So a 1st and 10 upcoming from Browns territory now as they've got it to the 28-yard line. Now Stroud. That's going to be caught. Touchdown. A great play there. His first touchdown on the year. And his guys have taken the lead.
We're still in the first quarter, but it's apparent they're going to have to come up with a different defensive game plan for him because right now he's kind of having his way against that defense and has added a touchdown to the list. How do you slow him down? They're going to have to mix up some coverages, maybe change who's guarding him.
Extra point right down the middle. And that makes the score 14-7. So that drive, 4 plays. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And that one not returnable. It's over the back line to the end zone, so that's going to be spotted up at the 30-yard line. The Cleveland offense ready to go. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
The start of the second quarter, and it's the Browns in control of the football as they've got it 2nd and 7.
Here we go. 52. Cut.
Looking to throw. Parks. Quick hitter here. It's complete. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled.
First down.
Ready up.
It's a gain of 10. And the
Here we
Browns
go.
first down.
60 red.
On first down, Sampson. And he's going to be hemmed in and brought down right at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down.
What an advantage having an elite guy to build a defensive line, because not only does he take up the space and let the linebackers run free, but he can also make plays himself, as we just saw there.
Now a 2nd and 10. Back to throw. Parks. Quickly into the hands of Mims. And he's tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35.
15 yards.
Well, they go with a slant that time, 15 yards and a first down.
A gain of 15. First down, Cleveland.
Swing, yellow.
Up the middle they go. Sampson. And he'll take this down to the 33.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. He wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
They'll keep it on the ground. Sampson. And he struggles to get a yard here. Maybe a yard down to the 31. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
Here's the 7th play of this drive. This is 3rd and 4.
40.
Operating from the gun. Parks. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he is going to have the Browns first down by about 3 yards or so as they wind up getting 7 there on 3rd and 4.
And that one was a lot of fun right there because that was the game within the game. 3rd and short, blitz was on. What's the key for the quarterback? Get out of your hands in a hurry. And that was a quick little completion. Got the job done for a first down.
Swing, yellow.
They'll run on first down. Sampson. What a great effort there. He's going to get this inside the 15, and they'll spot it at the 13-yard line. Nice run. It's a gain of 10, and the Browns are going to get a first down.
It's a gain of 10. And the Browns first down.
Set, go. Set, cut.
Well, they'll run it here on the jet sweep. And he stopped immediately there. And now timeout is whistled as it appears there's a Brown shaken up on the play. The medical staff will attend to him, and we will step aside. 2nd and 10. Looking to throw. Parks. And he's got his man in stride. Complete. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion. And it'll be 3rd down.
Ready?
Back to throw. Parks. And he's got it. Got his man on the end route. Complete. 2 yards on the pickup there. And it'll be 4th down.
It's 4th down.
And his kick is right there. It's good. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. The Bulls offense and C.J. Stroud getting ready for this next drive. As we check out the league leaders in passing yards, you can see he's right up there among the best in the NFL at this point in the season. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. So for this offense, Charles, remember drive 1 made it to the end zone. It's caught inside the 25. And he takes this way down deep into Cleveland territory. A big play there. 54 yards.
Y'all gotta pump my taste. Y'all can't talk about basic. We might have more Power Ranger. Mine also dangerous.
So the field flips here as they'll go to work at the 20 now on 1st and 10.
118. What's up?
And Stroud now to throw. Under pressure, and he'll go down. Sacked back at the 31. It looks like a loss of right around 11 there on 1st first down to set him back on second. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. Now they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21.
Here we go. 18. 11.
Looking to throw. Stroud. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
And this is incomplete. Oh, that looked like a sure 6 points, but he could not get that to stick, and that is a golden opportunity wasted there.
A 42-yard attempt.
And this one is right through. And that moves him up by a touchdown now at 17-10. So a nice kick there as they add 3 to the lead.
And from what I've seen so far, Brandon, I think they've been the better of the two teams here in the first half. So even though you want the touchdown, I think that's a nice job there to put 3 points on the board.
Cleveland offense making their way out. And Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
A really good pickup of 28 yards.
First down.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Let's go. Ready?
Operating from the gun, Parks. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Pat Surtain. So the ball changing hands on the interception, but meanwhile here we do have an injury on the play. Well, the medical staff is going to come out here and take a look, and we will take a short break.
First and 10 at their own 26-yard line.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And with a 7-point lead, they'll likely look to take this to the locker room and not really press the issue. Firing quickly, but it's incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up, not that time.
All right. 18. Let's go.
To throw again on 2nd down. Stroud. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. And give him 10 that time as he was able to get away from the pressure and get a nice gain.
They made a nice effort to stick him with a loss for that play, but it's going to take more than that to keep him from advancing the ball. Should be an entertaining battle anytime he tucks and runs over the second half of this contest.
A shotgun snap to Stroud. Able to find the open man. That's complete. Now another timeout called for by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime.
39-yard line.
Here we go. 18. Let's go. Why, Tony?
Now on 1st down, he'll drop to throw it. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield, complete. And they're going to hurry back to the line now.
A 3-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 7 at the 42-yard line.
Stroud out of the gun here. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And that will be incomplete. Trying to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be third down.
And they're not going to go quietly into this halftime break. They know they're in for a fight, so they're trying to make every possession count. They took the big shot there, but it winds up incomplete.
That is caught. And offensively, they'll take the timeout with 6 seconds left in the second quarter. So even though it's first down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. He made his first attempt, this from 45. And this one is right down the middle. And they double him up here. That makes our score 20-10. So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach termed his defense, the firemen.
And we welcome you back now alongside Charles Davis operating gun, getting set for quarter number 3 here. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. And they've got the lead. CD, what do you think the message was at halftime?
I don't think the message was too drastic, I think, at the half, or that they need to change things too much. I do think the offensive line could play a little bit better. And I think they'll try and help them out more. They'll probably keep a tight end in a few more times and maybe add a running back to the formation to pick up those pass rushers, because they probably allowed a few too many sacks for comfort in the first half.
Second down and 6 now from the 26.
Second and 6.
They'll run straight ahead with Genty. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That one good for a first down pickup of 18 yards.
For a Rio first down. First and 10 at the 43-yard line.
They'll go again with Genty. And a determined run there as he's going to take this all the way down near the 40. Another strong gain on the last 2 plays. They've moved it a combined 33 yards. So a first and 10 upcoming from Browns territory now at the 41. Now a toss left side, Genty. And he's going to get this down near the 30-yard line. Now, during that run, an injury here. We got one of those big blockers in some discomfort. While they come out and take a look at him, we will step aside for just a moment. On first down, it's Genty. And this time they were waiting for him. He's going to be knocked down before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up second and 11.
And that's what this defense is going to need to do more in the second half. Good pressure that time, forces some indecision in the backfield. He's going to wind up being taken down for a nice loss.
Now to change things up, Stroud will throw it. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And out of bounds right around the 20. This will be play number 7 on the drive. Third and a yard. Back to throw. Stroud. Hard throw. Incomplete. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple of weeks.
Oh, that's the perfect word for it, precise, because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
Why Tony?
Fourth down, here's Stroud. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8.
Rio, first down. First and goal at the 8-yard line.
18.
They'll try and run for it on first and goal. He had to fight that time. Ran through one tackle, but ultimately he's only going to get back to the line of scrimmage.
And now defensively, you have to look at this like the game's on the line. It's just a third quarter, but another touchdown given up here could really spell an end to their chances. So they need to toughen up and keep them out of the end zone.
Nothing on first down, so the ball remains at the 8-yard line. Second and goal.
All right. Tony.
Looking to throw. Stroud. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And he will take this one in for a touchdown. A 7-yard touchdown grab. And the Bulls take the opening kickoff of the third quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. One after it, right down the middle. And that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Heading out as the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here. Looking to put a drive together. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. And hold on here, because on that last run, it looks like we have a player who was shaken up. Hopefully, obviously nothing serious here. Medical staff, though, are going to take a peek, and we'll take a break. Here's a 2nd and 7. And that's incomplete.
And there's another stop. One of the league's best defenses is certainly bringing it again this week.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Back to throw. Parks. He's got his target. That's complete. And take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds.
First down. A gain of 13 yards. First down.
On first down, it's Crawford. And a pretty athletic runner right there as he's going to get this down inside the 40. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
He's ready. 52 blue.
Operating from the gun. Parks throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete.
Another attempt, another incompletion. And when I look at the scoreboard and where we are in this game, it comes to mind that they have to start getting the ball in the hands of their playmakers. Throw it to the guys that maybe can take a short pass and turn it into a long gain or make people miss downfield. They've got to have points. And the guys who can put the ball in the end zone, they're the ones that need to touch the ball.
And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10.
What a drive. This has been just chewing up the yardage. And here's one of their best plays yet as they finally get down into the red zone and look to finish this off with 6.
They'll run on first down. Crawford. And a pickup of about 4 down inside the 10 to the 8-yard line.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
Facing a 2nd and 6 from the 8.
Let's go now.
Looking to throw. Parks. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. He had the touchdown earlier. This one's going to get him a first down.
First down. Black foot set. Hut.
Operating from the gun. Parks. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland. A great effort there. Taking it in. And the Browns are able to cut into this deficit here in the final minute of the 3rd. Extra point splits the uprights. And the lead is trimmed down to 10. A good drive that time as they go 9 plays in all. And it ends with a touchdown for Cleveland. The Browns kicking team out there now as they'll send this one away. And he returns this to the 22. Now the Rio offense set to take over. This now a 10-point game, so things tightening a little bit after that last score. Looking to put a drive together.
Here we go. At 18, what's that?
They'll start on the ground with Ginty. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 62 yards rushing now on 8 carries for him so far.
That was good, tough running right up the middle. And if the defense can't penetrate and make him slow his pace or change direction, that's often the end result.
South. Here we go. Let's go. 18.
Right back to Ginty on first down. A solid run here as he'll pick his way down to the 42-yard line. 16 more on that one and another first down.
That's another Rio first down.
4th quarter coming up here on Thursday Night Prime Time. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down.
Out, it's not. Hot. 18. What's that?
Back to throw. Stroud. They'll get it inside the 20. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. The extra effort after the catch makes it good for a gain of 26 and also a first down. Those are the kinds of plays right there that show you why he's the number 3 man in the NFL in terms of receiving yards.
It also tells you there's a full combination of what he's got going in his game. You name it, from route running to catching the football. That's why he's able to produce those types of numbers.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. Up the middle, it's Ginty. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11.
A 6-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 4.
This 2nd and 4.
Here we go. 18. What's that?
Once again, it's Ginty. And he'll take it into the end zone for a touchdown. Ashton Jeanty with career touchdown number 94. He ties both Jerome Bettis and Priest Holmes on the all-time list. And the Bulls are closing in on a third straight win as they widen the gap further here in the fourth quarter. Extra point right down the middle. And that'll make this a three-score game now. The lead moves to 17. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. The football going back over down to the Cleveland Browns. We certainly had a sense coming in here that these guys were in for a tough one on the road. That has been how this ball game has played out. They trail big as we continue on now here in this fourth quarter. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down. So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards.
Ready. 50, green.
Looking to throw. Parks. And he's got his man in stride. Complete. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31.
And it's third down.
On third down, he'll drop to throw. And he can't escape, and down he goes. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on fourth down. They're going for it. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Browns unable to move the chains on fourth down. And the ball... Go over on downs on the short side of the field. Well, at this stage of the game in the second half, down 3 scores, I guess they felt like they needed to push.
And let's face it, with this deficit, if they give up another score here after they didn't get it, does it really matter?
Right.
It really doesn't. They had to go and try and make something happen if they had any chance of winning this game.
18, what's that?
This is Freeman on 1st and 10. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
2nd and 11 at the 24-yard line.
Back in. 19, 18, what's that?
Up the middle, Freeman. He is taken down at the 21 after a short gain of 2.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
From the gun on third down, here's Stroud. Open man is Bell, complete. And he gets into the end zone for the touchdown. From 21 yards away. And the Bulls are able to add on to that lead. He's got them out to a 3-score lead here in the fourth quarter after that one, CD. And he looked right off the line like he knew that that ball was coming his way, and he secured it for 6 points.
Yeah, I think when you're leading by a healthy margin already, it actually loosens you up and allows you to take maybe a few more chances and definitely play with more confidence, because he certainly saw something he could exploit in the defense. They made sure to let his quarterback know, just get it to me. And the rest was all up to him, and he delivered and made it a 3-score game.
So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. Here comes the Browns offense back onto the field. Well, this game, it has had no shortage of offense. They've been able to put up a decent amount of points on this side, Charles. They just have not been able to keep pace with the other offense they're going against here.
Yeah, that's a good way of pointing things out because now it's not a total loss because, as you said, they've scored some points, so there's some plays they can build on, moments where the game plan actually worked. But overall, though, they were just out-personnel. They were going up against a team that's playing at an elite level.
And hold on here, because on that last run, it looks like we have a player who was shaken up. Well, now they're going to come out and take a look at this injury, and we'll be back in a moment. The offense on third down tonight, 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 10. Operating from the gun, Parks. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And a pretty nice tackle there, ranging up from his free safety spot as he'll stop him about a yard short.
It's 4th down.
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Browns in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score.
Ready. 33, yellow. Ready, go. Ready.
They'll look to throw here on 1st down. A quick throw there is incomplete. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
Here's 2nd and 10. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this.
Okay, ready?
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10.
Down. Ready?
Again, he'll drop to throw. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. They'll look to throw again. He's going to float this one deep right side. And that will be incomplete. They weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
Well, these guys are not going to go out with their tails between their legs. They're going to keep taking their shots until the clock's at 000. But that one, like a lot of others, winds up incomplete.
On 4th down, they'll try and run for it. And I'm not sure he got there. Did they stop him? They did. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And that will force a turnover on downs. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. Well, they don't really need the points here, Charles, given what we're looking at on the scoreboard, but they've scored on 3 consecutive possessions, 3 consecutive drives, and I'm sure that they would like to keep that streak going here and continuing to pour it on.
And things have gotten that way in the NFL, haven't they, partner? Because in the old days, people would, they'd get off the gas a little bit, right? But now, people continue to accelerate. But we'll see what they decide to do as they come out in this one. But the way this game has gone, they've got to be awfully happy with their execution overall.
Nike Texas. Look the hot.
From the gun on 3rd down, Stroud. And that will be incomplete. Well, their passing attack, even though that one was incomplete, has been really sharp in this one. It's resulted in a lot of touchdowns, and it looks like they're not going to stop throwing the football until the very end of this one.
Well, that will certainly make everyone involved on offense pretty happy because that gives them all a chance to pad their stats a bit. But as far as the actual need, you and I both know they can just run this clock out because this one, it was over a long time ago.
Fourth down, Stroud going to try to throw for it. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The 4th down pass play doesn't work out. And it'll be a turnover on downs. Throwing to start the drive. Parks. That's good. The completion there for 7 yards. And that'll make it second down. Now another timeout called for by the offense. As the clock will stop with 55 seconds remaining in the football game. 2nd and 3. Quick throw, that's complete on the inside slant. A quick slant, good for 8 and a first.
And the Browns first down.
And with just over 40 seconds now remaining, he gets up and spikes it. 2nd and 10. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. That'll leave him with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there. Now a timeout called for by the offense. That'll be their 3rd and final stoppage here as we step aside. Back to throw again. And this is caught. Touchdown, Cleveland. Marvin Mims from 13 yards out. And the Browns are able to make some inroads here to that deficit. Now the Browns offense will stay on the field as they'll go for 2 here.
For the 2-point conversion.
They'll try and throw for it. That's caught. And he is not going to get in here. So the decision to go for 2 does not pay off as they're unable to cut any further into their deficit. The Browns kicking team out there now as they'll send this one away. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. The Bulls offense and their quarterback ready to go once more. And this defense might be about ready to wave the white flag. Nothing they have tried to throw at him has been that successful. He just processes things so quickly and makes the right read seemingly every time. Well, partner, under the lights in primetime, this offense, they gave the nation quite a show, putting up that many points to come away.